They had all those rules. Yeah. That's when they had to sit with a lawyer and go through.
Yes.
So now I think the rest of them probably just don't know. Oh, well, we have one.
Yes, so we can have.
We're getting there.
Look out, here comes trouble.
Hey, good, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
How we doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, my friend?
Perfectamundo.
Hey, Dean, how's it going?
Only you outdressed me.
Dan, how's it going? Good. You?
Kim used to, but they moved her to another committee, so she wouldn't cause any of those problems.
Hi. How are you doing?
Okay, gotta put the chair down. I can't touch.
That's not
Gotta lower that a little bit.
Then they won't be able to see me over the, like, who's that member that comes chin high?
Goodness gracious.
Information received after.
Did you get out and play golf at all in this weather?
Today.
Did you? Beautiful out today.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, it's starting to feel like summer, Dan.
I know. Not much of a transition.
Okay, I understand.
It was just magnificent.
Yeah, it's a perfect day out.
Okay, where is this located?
And thank you again for those cigars.
Wow.
God, those were
You don't need to,
great.
you don't need to write me that. No, I knew somebody could take care of them and use them, you know? I had put those, I'd ruin those things if I kept them.
Yeah, I'm sure Bridget would let you welcome in the house.
No. But I will come over and visit you.
Yeah, you know, anytime, come over, we'll have one together.
I heard that, Evite. I know where you live.
Absolutely.
Everybody does after putting it on the home tour.
Yeah. That was an adventure to say the least.
Yes, I know. I only work it. I can't imagine it in my
Oh.
house.
If somebody asked me, said, "Are you going to be there when all this is going on?" I said,
Some,
"No." Some people do.
I
They're
would,
crazy. I
but
would.
there's others that don't.
Oh, I would. I would not be there because I'd be. I just
Well,
can't imagine.
it's a lot of people.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them.
It's a lot of people.
good anyway.
No.
I'm glad it's guys. I would never put a rented one on. I pick it up and go, oh my.
Guys are not nearly as particular.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's all sorts of, oh, that wouldn't. Are there not minutes here from our last meeting?
I did not see any minutes when I sent those out.
So that's why I was looking here.
Been so long ago.
Don't we
It
have
was in
to-
December.
Because I was like, can I
It was in
remember what we
December.
did? Let's see.
Was it?
It was the one that was on that dentist office, on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On
It
the
was
wall,
December
Up
11th.
on the wall.
Yeah. Exactly right.
Yeah, I had to remember, but I don't see the,
Ari, Did we not have the minutes prepared from our last meeting to approve this time?
No, because we're behind on the minutes, so we're trying to catch up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What'd she say?
She said they're behind on the minutes and they're trying to catch up on all of them. So
Oh.
I guess we'll approve 2 sets of minutes next time.
So if we've got our brains, we can remember this, right?
Yes.
Planning and zoning
Yeah.
commission
Oh,
as
okay.
well,
Of course we can.
so,
That's okay.
and the architecture.
Not if I sleep before then.
It's a lot.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, 7:00. Okay, we'll call to order the Sign Board of Appeals meeting of the City of Colleyville for April 9, 2018, and I'll call the roll. Board Member Syed? Here. Board Member Valerio?
Here?
Vice Chair Cameraman?
Here.
Board Member Shadle?
Here.
Chair Carroll is here, and alternate number 2, Mr. Deacon, is absent. All right. The first item and only item on the agenda tonight.
Chairman,
Yes.
we need, a point of order, we need to do the pledge first.
Oh, yes, I forgot the pledge. All right. If you will, everyone rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know, I read it. There was a flag.
All right. The item for consideration tonight is a request for a variance to the provisions of Section 7-150 Permanent Freestanding Signs, Sign Classification and Regulations of the Land Development Code of the City of Colleyville, specifically for an institutional monument sign on Lot 1, Block 1 of the First United Methodist Church located at 1000 Church Street. This is case number SC 19-001. And at this time, I would like to request staff to present the case, and then we will consider the applicants.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm just going to show exactly where this is located. It's not too far from here. It's off of Church Street and Pleasant Run Road. And here's the zoning map. The zoning of the property is agricultural, and the use of the property is for the United Methodist Church. And the future land use map indicates this to be part of the Colleyville Boulevard corridor. And this is what they're proposing this evening. They have an existing freestanding sign, monument sign, and they would like to add an additional electronic message sign in the same size and shape as the existing sign there, to total 108.33 square feet in size. This is the exact location of the current sign and where they'd like to place the additional sign on top of there. And this shows the location as well. And again, a photo showing the existing sign. You can see that there was some railing put there along Pleasant Run Road. And then staff took some additional photos to show kind of different directions of the existing conditions of what's out there currently. So this is looking north on Pleasant Run. This is north as well across the street. This is looking south. And that's at the intersection. And then this is looking west. And we wanted to include the signage that's currently out there as well on the wall, just so you have an idea of what's also out there. The variance request is for the additional signage. Currently, with the current sign code, and I say it that way because it changed recently. So it's allowed for a maximum area of 60.5 square feet for the overall structure size. In addition to that, the base along the sides of the sign need to be 18 inches, and as well as the electronic message sign can be provided, combined that the gross surface area does not exceed the maximum allowable sign area, and provided that no more than 50% of the maximum allowable sign area may be used as a electronic message sign. And again, this is the exhibit. And in considering a request for a sign variance from the Sign Board of Appeals, tonight you will be looking at, among other things, the degree of the variance, the reason for the variance requested, the location of the variance request, the duration of the requested variance, the effect on public safety, the protection of neighborhood property, the degree of hardship or injustice involved, and the effects of the variance on the general plan of regulation of signs within the city. And this is the notification map showing that we notified all of the adjacent properties within 500 feet of the subject property. And today, staff did receive one objection letter, which was provided to you this evening. Staff is recommending not approving the request because it does not follow the Land Development Code.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of staff before I ask the applicant to come forward? All right, if you would, if the applicant would like to present anything in connection with this, we're happy to hear from you. If you will state your name and then give us your address, please.
I'm Judy Atwood. I am one of several people from the church here. I live at 2209 Norwalk Drive in Colleyville. Lived here for many, many, many years. I handle, as a lay leader of the church, I handle the sign ordinance. I'm here for any questions you may have. I also have with me our trustee chair, Tommy Thompson. He also may help with any questions. The person, however, I'd like to have talk to you is Van Miller, who is actually handling this sign construction for us.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Abbott. Mr. Miller or Ms. Miller? Okay, if you'll identify yourself and give us your address, please, sir.
My name is Van Miller. I'm with Legacy Signs of Texas, and I live in Colleyville as well at 6712 Zermatt Court. Thanks. And I brought like several items for y'all to look at, but she took great pictures of everything, so there's no need in showing y'all that. So. Can I answer any questions before I get started?
No, please go ahead and make your presentation.
Okay. I appreciate your time tonight, and I'm excited that we're number one on the agenda and the last, because I've sat in these before for 3 or 4 hours in different cities, so that's good news. My wife will be happy. So I'll kind of get to the meat and bones of the situation so that I can help y'all. We feel like there's 3 to 4 major things that cause this to be something that would be a hardship. Number one, the steel sidewalk guardrails that are blocking their original sign. Number two, there's a huge change of grade from sidewalk grade level down to where the sign is. In fact, I stood one day and it came, I think I'm 6'4", it was about 5 foot from the concrete up to the top of the bars. If you go by the church, they do a great job of advertising different things within the church as well as the school and different things around the city. But there's a lot of banners that they have to use to do that. And I feel like a nice professional message sign could have all of those banners possibly be removed so that everything could be advertised on one nice and neat sign. And I think it would actually be a lot more attractive in the city to have that just as an option. And I think the way things are going now in cities, the sign could also be used for public service messages, firework ban on outdoor fires, election times, lost person in the city. So there's a lot of different things that this sign can do. The neat thing about the signs is the technology's come so far that you can dim them down and you can adjust them to go off at a certain time. And so they're very, very more efficient and high-tech than they used to be. And I'm open for questions.
Okay, any members of the board have questions?
I have some questions, and it's on some of the points that you brought up. First, the sidewalk and the handrails. Were those, when they redid that road, is that when those appeared?
I'm going to reflect to Judy because I don't belong to the church, and I know
Okay.
she does.
Yes, our existing monument sign was at grade with the road, and we actually had a bar ditch, but it was at grade. So the road was raised, and then the sidewalk was raised, and then the railings came up. So we have a vertical drop of about here on the concrete wall that has been put in.
Yes, we've seen this on 26 and other roads. It's being changed at this time. So yes, I had noticed that. The thing about the banners, all right, a lot of the churches and other facilities, I see what you're saying about lots of banners, and your church is one of those. And as you go by currently, there's a couple banners hanging on top of that, which looks kind of tacky, but I understand because you can't even see the sign, because unless you're coming from the right direction, you don't see the sign, which could be public safety problems anyway. If someone's turning to see, is this the church I'm looking for? Because I know I think you've done Spanish lessons for the community. They've done all sorts of things. So if somebody's looking, I could see that being a problem. So I was wondering about that also. So that means those banners, if this is approved, we're not gonna be seeing all those banners everywhere, right?
Definitely a reduction, yes.
Because they seem to be getting higher and higher.
Well, to get over the rail, yes.
Yes.
Now, the one picture they showed up of our name on this side of this.
It's been there a while, hasn't it?
It is on this side of and it only shows up on Church Street. But on Pleasant Run, there is no other name or sign except for that monument sign. That is.
I think, yeah, the trees and stuff, yeah, I think.
But we've cut down a couple of trees to let that other sign on the church side show up. But our one main on that corner and on Pleasant Run is our corner monument sign.
Yeah.
And that name is buried in the bottom sign.
Thank you.
Okay.
It appears to me that the only direction that the sign is currently blocked is if you are traveling south on Pleasant Run Road. If you're traveling north, you can see the sign just as it always was. Am I wrong about that?
No, you have to.
Explain a little bit further. Coming from the south going north is really about the only place that you can see the sign.
Yeah.
If you're coming from west or definitely north,
This way.
and either the west side or the north side, it is blocked. If you're on the corner and at the stop sign coming from east, then you can stop and turn and look there at a stop.
And the other question, the other concern I've got is, what does it do to the line of sight by putting a sign twice as high as it would be now, or at least again as high, and blocking the line of sight?
I think if you look at that
There's a
picture right
picture.
there, Tommy.
Which one?
Okay, if you want to speak, come up and identify yourself, please, and give us your address.
I'm Tommy Thompson, Chairman of the Board of Trustees of First United Methodist
There you
Church. I'm also a Colleyville resident, 3103 Glendale.
Thank you.
That last picture that was shown just a minute ago shows looking to the, not that one, it was an earlier one. Well, there we go. Okay. As you can see, coming from the south, southbound traffic, you can still see the intersection. You can see that white SUV there that's at the intersection getting ready to turn left or right. So I don't think our existing sign's going to block the view of traffic coming from Church Street onto Pleasant Run, to answer your question.
Okay, thank you. Okay, other questions from members of the board?
I have another, do you? So the fourth topic that you brought up was it could be used, new technology could be used for things in the community. If you look at the letter that we received, I wonder if if we have it in Colleyville that these electronic signs go off at midnight or 11 until 5 or 6 in the morning.
Not that I'm aware of.
Because, sometimes that addresses if people don't want these flashing at night when they're trying to sleep, it comes through a window.
Yeah, in a residential area.
Well, the house is down a ways, but it still could be seen when it's dark, we talk about the blue lights and everything, but it's not a city requirement of any kind about
No,
a
ma'am.
certain time. And, and that might be something that the church would take on their own to kind of try to be, part of the neighborhood.
So, good point, Dee, because we already discussed that. They want to be good friends and good neighbors and do the right thing, so there won't be any flashing or scrolling messages. There won't be anybody kept up at night in that neighborhood around there, because they'll either dim it down so low that you can't see it and it's not an obstruction, or figure out how to turn it off during the nighttime when nobody's out really driving around that matters anyway, unless they're going to and from a nighttime job or a club.
Yeah, because I do see that there's a house being built across the street, but it's not gonna be a straight on to them. That's why I'm thinking,
Right. So we would adhere to that.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
So I have a question.
Oh, please, whoever decided.
I have a question with the staff. Who installed that railing? Does the city installed it, or?
That would have been a part of the road work that was done with Pleasant Run Road.
Okay.
Okay, board member Shayla, did you have a question?
No, it was answered,
Oh, okay, very good.
because I want to know what was across the street from the location from the church.
I guess my concern is that this is an electronic sign in a residential neighborhood. But second, could a sign be placed on top of the sign that you've got now that is just a sign that says First United Methodist Church, I think is what the sign says now, where it could be seen from the going south, without putting any kind of electronic sign up there?
That's always an option, but I don't think it accomplishes what the church's goal is in trying to reach the general public with a multitude of different messages that they're trying to.
Yeah, I understand that part of it, and that's what concerns me, that there's gonna be a multitude of messages in a residential neighborhood on an electronic sign. And I think those electronic signs, I have concerns about them being anywhere other than on commercial roads and things like that, not residential roads.
A lot of cities have addressed that by not allowing them to change messages often, so they keep a message static for a period of like 30 seconds to a minute, so that they don't appear that they're constantly changing.
Okay. Other questions from the board members or questions of staff? All right, then I don't know whether we have anyone here who wishes to speak, but I'm going to open a public. I'm sorry. Yes.
Can I speak?
Are you with the church supporting the application?
I live right across the street.
Okay.
But
Let me open the public hearing, and then we'll let you speak on that.
Do I have to
Okay.
hand this in
I'm sorry.
to fill anything out?
We'll still hand it to her. All right, I'll open the public hearing. If someone wishes to speak, please give your name and address and speak up so we can hear you.
Okay, my name is Brant Raming. I live at 805 Thomas Street. I'm probably, other than the house that's being built across the street from me, I'm the closest existing person to the church.
The White House.
I am a member of the church, in all fairness. the sign wouldn't bother me. There's a street lamp right on the corner of Thomas and Pleasant Run. Sidewalk there with people walking down, not at midnight, obviously, but in the summertime, there's people walking and talking along the street. So I think if the church would be a good neighbor and keep the sign, dimmed or turned off, I don't have any problem with that. I think that's fine.
Okay, any questions of Mr. Remy? Thank you, sir, we appreciate your participation. Anyone else wishing to speak? If not, I'll close the public hearing. All right, discussion among the board members, or if I'll entertain a motion.
Do they need?
I guess we probably ought to read this into the record, because we do have an objection from John Railman. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing it. To all concerned, I object to the proposed variance to section 7-150. An electronic sign is objectionable to residential streets. Clearly, the nature of electronic messages will be active, proselytizing, and advertising. Both Pleasant Run Road and Church Streets are residential streets and not thoroughfares/boulevards. Electronic signs allow constantly changing scenes, causing distractions and disturbing the quiet, quote, visual peace, unquote, of our residential areas. John Reelman, 5701 Pleasant Run Road, Colleyville. All right. Discussion among the board members, or certainly entertain a motion if somebody wishes to make one.
One of my concern is that it's residential agricultural land, and if you want to put this electronic sign, it's very, very distracting with the neighborhood around it.
Other discussion? Does somebody want to make a?
Make a motion to vote?
No, if somebody wants to make a motion either to approve or to deny the request for a variance from the sign ordinance, either motion is appropriate.
Make it a motion to deny.
All right, we have a motion to deny the request for a variance to the sign ordinance of the city of Colleyville. Do we have a second?
I will second it.
We have a second from Board Member Syed. The motion was by Board Member Shadle. Is there any further discussion regarding the motion? If not, I will call for the vote. Commissioners, Board Member Syed.
Aye.
Board Member Valerio.
Aye.
Board Member Camberman.
Nay.
Nay. Board Member Carroll votes aye. Board Member Shadle.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries 4-1, and the request for a sign variance is denied. Thank you all very much, and if you have any questions, I'm sure that the staff will be happy to discuss those with you. If there's no further business, do we have a motion to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned. Let's see.
Yep.
And then I just want to apologize for the minutes.
Oh.
Last year, we have been
No,
short
this is-
staffed, so we are literally a year behind.
Just wanted to make sure.
And then we had meetings implemented, and then we have more expansion of meetings. So we're doing planning and zoning commission, we're doing zoning board of adjustment, side board of appeals, and then architectural.
So what you're saying is you have nothing going on.
Pretty much.